the reason why that song jumped up because Johnny Nash was the guy Arthur was with. But who? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, who wrote that song? Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing, Ivan. Who wrote that song, gentlemen? Do your homework. Bob Marley.
What?
Whoa!
I can see clearly now it was Bob Marley, not Johnny Nash. Bob Marley wrote the song, and they said, and Arthur and all of them said, "Hey man, can we do this song?" He said, "Cool, cool." Johnny Nash got the clearance. Rest is history. I saw Arthur then. Then I was in high school music art. Me, Nat Adderley Jr., Francisco Centeno.
Centeno.
We played for what we now know as Nick and Val. Then it was Valerie Simpson and Nick Ashford. And I played on the first Valerie solo record with me and Nat and Francisco. She wanted to use some younger guys, and Ralph came to the session. Of course, he came in late and said, "Who are these?" Oh, we on TV. I can't say what he said, but he said, "Who are these guys?" And you know what word he said? And she said, "Come on, you late. Just go sit down. Go sit." We were at Record Plant. And I brought like you said, I brought my drums to the session. I used to bring my drums to their house to rehearse because I lived 87th and my stuff was at Uncle Bookie's house. Walter Booker's my uncle, the bass player, played with Cannon, Nat's daddy, and them. You know what I mean? So I would take a cab from 87th in Amsterdam to Nick and Val's house. I ain't gonna say where it is. I don't get nobody in trouble. But y'all know on the west side there. Well, you know, I mean, privacy. But rolled up in there, brought my drums up, and then put them in there. And then when they said we had a session, I brought them to the session. They were like, "They have drums there." And Nick said, "Shh, he wants to bring his drums. Let him bring his drums." I mean, he was so zen. He was so like, you know.
Nick was amazing, man.
Okay, Grasshopper, that's what you want to do. You comfortable? What a sweetheart. Great writer, but he was like that calming.
Oh man!
Just that calming voice in the room.
Unbelievable.
Very, very. I've seen him stop fights. I've seen him. I've seen him just peace be still kind of vibe. You know what I mean? I've also seen him shut some people down now. Short of him, like never doing this. But you could tell that he could hold his own attitude. You know what I mean? Being a New York uptown kid, you know what I'm saying?
Nick was a sweetheart, but he was no joke either, man. He was
no.
Beautiful brother, man.
Well, great music, man. Great music. Those two, that formula.
And like that's an institution, man. That's a whole string of people have gone through that. Just like Roberta.
Yeah. Just like the school of Nick and Val, the school of Roberta, the school of Miles.
Yep.
You know, Harry Belafonte. You know, those institutions of learning. Because that's where Artie's from. Artie, Ralph, Uncle Buster, excuse me, Bill Eaton. Sorry, bro. That's us, I'm sorry. But all those guys came through Harry's world. Look, Keith Fluid. I'm name it backwards and all in between. There's so many. Richard Cummings.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Richard.
All those guys. Damon B.White. All those guys. Neil Clark. All those guys came through Harry.
Yep.
Right, through Harry, that's right.
Yeah, Harry Belafonte, man.
Yep.
And he's another one taught you about publishing and that, and your thing. But Artie was better at it. And like you said, that teacher that you had that wasn't a great teacher, you know what I mean? Artie was much calmer. It was all very matter of fact with Artie. Artie would tell you, "No, man, put this down." He'd say, "Put this down on your slip. Put that here. Do this. Put that there. No, put that up here. No, man. Here, sign this in. Come on, give me your slip." And he'd hand your slip in with his. Nobody questioned it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What a blessing. God bless his soul. That guy took care of me many, many moons. All right, Damon, I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
This is what this is, brother. Keep going.
Yeah, we let it roll.
I say this, buddy, too. And you are a great mentor to me. You did so much for me over the years, helping me and guiding, and I could come and talk, or even just hey man, what you doing? You busy? Look, go take this session for me.
Yes.
All of that. All of that. But
yes.
But buddy, what I wanted to go to was you and I and a whole bunch of us were lucky enough to have the Arthurs, the Ralphs.
Yes.
Those cats, it was in their interest to help us out. They wanted to see us strong. And
to get us ready.
They got us ready. They were real. They gave you what it was. This is it. Yo, get out there, have your crap together, be on time, skills, the whole, the best stuff in the world.
That's awesome.
What did the old dude say? Wait a minute, I gotta say this, Damon. I'll let you go. Show up, shut up, play the music. Now it's a family show, so I can't say what the second one was.
Right.
Show up, shut up, play the music, and the second one is the hardest one.
Yep,
it is. It is.
I'll tell you all the real version when we get off TV here.
Okay.
I don't want to,
All right. I'll get that. I'll ask for that. But real quick, I pretty much have said it. Like who were your early influences? But you kind of touched on that. So if you have any others to add, being I'd ask you directly.
Well, wait. I'm gonna name the drummers and please name the drummers. But I'm gonna name the drummers. The drummers. Yes, you had Tony Williams, all those guys. But let's okay. You know about that Billy Cobham, all those guys. But let's name the guys who were really the ones. Roy McCurdy.
Yes.
Roy McCurdy played with Cannonball, Nancy for 1,000 years. He was the mule. He was the Clydesdale. He was the thoroughbred that you knew if Roy was on it, it was going to swing. Yep. It was going to be tasteful. And you always learned something. Even if he played it over and over again, he never played it the same way, but it was the same way. Now, I'm going to go to the other side of the coin. Airto Moreira. I don't care what y'all say. Airto Moreira is one of the greatest drummers, machines, musicians, singer, percussion. Anything he picks up, you better listen, and hopefully you can record it, because that dude, that dude, man, that dude. He could take a pandera, which we call a tambourine.
Yep.
That's a whole.
Oh,
stop it, buddy! I was giving it a cuss. But he take the tambourine, the tambura, and he could play the whole band and sing. Right? And then you get those little cymbals going, and he's got the thing, and he's got 5 different pitches going on.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all. He's the whole band.
Yep.
I grew up listening to Airto and Roy, and of course Roy Haynes, of course. But let's talk about the other smooth cats like Jimmy Cobb. Jimmy Cobb played with Miles, but Sarah Vaughan, all them people like that. He was married to what was that sister's name? He was funny with that. I'll say it in a minute. Dinah Washington. He was married to Dinah Washington for many years, so he was on a lot of those records. And I won't say that. I can't say the other phrase. I'll tell you all that when the Rated X part comes. Well, we're on TV. I can't say that stuff. It's a church show. You can't let the children hear that. But he said that was an experience he will never forget.
Yeah, man.
Did I say it right, Ivan? I didn't cuss.
No, you did. You said.
Go ahead, Ivan. There's more, but go ahead, Ivan. Go.
Oh,
you know what I mean. Go ahead.
Well, you named some of mine. Jimmy, Airto, absolutely. Billy Hart, man.
Yeah,
yes.
Man. Yes.
Sweetheart.
Jabari, man.
Sweetheart.
Jabari, Billy Hart.
Jabari straightened us all out.
Jabari, he blew my brains out. So I lucked up and ended up with this gig for one weekend. It was like the Les McCann. So I'm playing with Les. It was great. But Sonny Stitt opened, and Billy Hart was playing.
Woo!
I went to school for a weekend. I mean, he blew my brains out. I was sitting there going,
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah.
I mean, he just,
Yeah.
and then to sit down and talk to him and get that love, man, and just ridiculous. So he really touched me um, back then for Rome. I was
Pepperoni goes without question, brother. Without
man.
question.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Right.
ridiculous.
Crazy feel. Amazing
Ridiculous.
feel. Amazing
Yeah,
feel.
just crazy. You, buddy, you the crowd before me, and I was listening hard to your ass. I was like, oh goodness, damn, he's swinging his butter. What is?
Listen, all I was doing is imitating them guys we just all named. You know what I mean? You heard that guy play it like that. I said, well, I'm gonna try to play it as close to that guy as possible. And and you got guys like Ralph.
Oh yeah.
Ralph's influence. I used to hear Ralph in my head as a click. I would hear the
Yeah.
I used to hear that in my head, and if what I was playing didn't fit in the middle of that, that was one of my, when I was younger. Later on, I got to play with Ralph and live with Ralph and do that, but that was one of my influences, and they really taught me how to play with the click. That's not. I remember Uncle Buster always saying, the click is your friend. He didn't have to say that to me, but once or twice.
Come on now.
He said, the click is your friend.
I say that to my students.
If you treat the click like another one of the band members and not worry about it being the metronome, you'll be fine. Now, some people that we grew up and played, a famous piano player that we won't name, because I'll start cussing his name, but his initials are N. Adderley. See, I was good. See, I've been a good boy.
You are too funny.
You're doing great, boy.
Buddy, you're just too funny, man. Oh my goodness.
He would fuss about the click, and I don't like the click, and and then typical Gemini, he flipped on us. Now it's the click in the machine.
Oh yeah.
All them songs you have to play every night. Here you go. I said, I thought you didn't like the click. Shut up. You saw that check. That's what it was. But anyway.
Yo, buddy, he had me in the studio about 15 hours programming a click with tempo changes.
What?
For I think this was like the Luther's Christmas record or something.
That's him. That's him.
Another two clicks here. Too funny. I want to go back. My last one, Grady Tate.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Another.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes. Yes. And he could sing very well. Sorry,
Very well.
I almost said it.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's good. It's all good. We're gonna roll.
Grady could sing his ass off. He could imitate Billy Eckstine, Johnny Mathis.
Yep.
He would do it on the spot.
Yep.
He would do it on the spot, not as a fling, as a fluke, or not as a joke. He knew his embouchure, his vocal range, his chops was so, man, what an amazing. I told somebody the other day when they asked me about it, and I'm shut up. That Quincy Jones Quintessence record. If you don't own it, go get it. Shut up and listen to that thing and memorize all of that. All the orchestration, all the sounds, the listings, Quincy's arrangements, all of them tunes. Quintessence. I learned how to ballads and stuff. Quincy's all over. Grady's all over that.
Grady's all over that stuff.
Grady Tate is all over that record. And there's more and more and more, but that record was what introduced me to how to play big band. How did you play ballads? I learned that quintessence. I applied that to like House Is Not a Home. and how do we do one take, and Anthony and all of them doing that, and Luther want to do 9 more takes and then be mad and say, "Ooh, I hate you. You played the first take perfect. I wish I could do that." You did. Because come on, tell on him, Ivan. You know he kept the first take because he liked it, but he wanted to do 12 more, and then he said, I like the first one. Oh, no shit. Shoot. Okay, that's my one. I'm sorry, Damon. I won't say it no more.
It's all right. It's all right.
You get 4, so you got 3 left.
I'm sorry, family.
It's all right.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. Here's the $5 to go in the bucket. Here's the $5. I'll mail it to you. Put it in the trust bucket.
All right.
I'm sorry, man.
Let me write this address down. But listen, fellas.
No, I'll zell it to your phone. I'll zell it right to your phone.
This is great information. And so the next question I would say is like that moment, either in your classroom or performance, that separated you. That you said, okay, now I think I can hang with this. I feel like I'm good. I can do this. What was that performance or classroom situation that happened?
Ivan first.
That's an interesting question. It's fuzzy a little bit because you get out there and you're moving your name and the phone calls come and you go, ooh, something new. And you go, Eartha Kitt and this and that and all these different little gigs. I'll say Francisco Centeno got me a call to do like a jingle. I want to say it, Mercedes Benz or something, and one of my very first jingles, and I show up, and it's like the room is star-studded with players. I'm in there just staying focused. All right, come on, get this shit right. Don't screw up.
That's right.
We finished the session, and something you said, buddy. So I looked at Frankie. I'm looking around, and it's like double scale, triple scale. I said, "Hey, Frankie, I noticed everybody's doing. He says, I said, what do you think I should do? He said, you're in the room, right? You're here, right? You in the room with these cats, right? And that was like oh, wait a minute, I am here. That kind of moment, that was one of those, I think. I think it happens different over time as you progress and work with different people, But that was one of those like, yeah, dude, you made it. You're here. You arrived. I was like, oh crap. Thanks, Frankie.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
So what we say, buddy? Buddy, hear me?
Oh, come on, y'all. All right. Listen.
That's a tough one.
Well, listen. Y'all know I went to music and art. Y'all know I went to music and art. I was playing little, but I'm gonna say it like this. We used to rehearse at the Apollo with Natural Essence, Pete Long. There was also the Listen My Brother group, which Luther and Robin and Carlos.
Oh,
Fonzie.
man.
That's all. My Nat played with them.
Oh, man.
And they would rehearse down there.
Family.
So now, okay, then we played at Music and Art. We did a Natural Essence played at Music and Art, and Herbie Mann came to Music and Art to do a performance. Our teacher, black man by the name of Bill Fisher, William S. Fisher, great arranger, New Orleans cat, beautiful brother. Him and Valerie Capers. This was in the on period of music. Of music. And we protested to get black teachers in our schools. So these guys got hired. There's another couple of names that I won't say, but I want to say the Bill Fisher part because Bill Fisher was like the cat. He was like, he was the arranger that he would do these cats' dates. Out of Atlantic Records, a lot of this. So he got Herbie Mann to come perform with his group at Music and Art. So Herbie Mann's, came and we played earlier, and then Herbie Mann's band did a thing, and at the end of the gig, the students come around, and the great David Valentine,
Oh,
David
man.
Valentine was going to school with me at Music and Art. I was going to school with him, and those guys were so, buddy, watch your mouth. They were so that they had him playing in the percussion department with me and not letting him play the flute in the orchestra. I'm biting my tongue now. Y'all know me. You know what I'm getting
wow.
ready to say.
Yes.
But watch the karma. The karma comes around. Bill Fisher says, "This is our great flautist. This is Dave Valentine. He plays great flute." So Herbie Mann had that gold flute. Him and Hubert Laws, they both had this gold flute. But Hubert Laws was killing that gold flute.
Oh yeah.
Herbie, was tweety. Okay, so Herbie let here, kid, check it out. Dave Valentine went the hey, give me that. Give me that. And no. Give me my shit. So around Easter vacation of that same year, the phone rings. It's Bill Fisher on the phone. Buddy? Oh, first my father answered the phone. He says, "It's your teacher, Mr. Fisher." I said, "Uh-oh, am I in trouble?" He said, "No, he's got some good news for you. Buddy, Herbie Mann needs a drummer to cover for Bruno Carr. Bruno Carr is going to go play with Gloria Lynn. He went to go play with
Wow.
Gloria Lynn, and he wasn't going to be able to make these gigs that Herbie had. And are you interested? I'll have him call you." So he called me. He said, "Well, come to my apartment on Central Park South and bring something, little something." And I got on the train with a trap case and a snare drum and a cymbal, a little hi-hat, and I go all the way to his house, and I get on the elevator, and the doorman stops the elevator from closing, and who gets on the elevator but Miles?
Oh,
Miles
nice.
Come
Davis
on,
gets on
man.
the elevator. He said,
Nice.
"You go." I said, first he said, "How's Bookie?" I said, "He's fine. He's fine. They're in such and such, wherever they want to." He said, "Good. Where you going?" I said, "I'm going up to Herbie Mann. He wants me to play some gig with him, and he wants me to come up there." And he said, "He's making you audition?" So I just looked at him. I'm in, it's high school. But Miles is an uncle. This is
Right.
Miles Davis. Yes, you bowing down. Yes, Miles, but it's double sword, because Miles is like very sensitive to us, because he knew I played natural lessons. He knows who I am. He's like, well, you know what word he said with the S, okay, with a long S on it. So the elevator door opens on Herbie Mann's floor. Miles stands there, and y'all know the stance that Miles takes, that stand. And when Herbie opened the door and looked at me and looked at Miles, he said, "Oh, Mr. Davis, how are you, sir?" He said, "Why are you making my man audition for you? You should be auditioning for him." I'm like, "Oh, I done lost the gig. I ain't even got in the door. Herbie heard me play. He said, I'm not auditioning him. We're just rehearsing a couple of numbers, Miles." And then he said that S word again, and he helped me put the trap case off the elevator, and
Nice.
he closed the door, and he went. So I went in. Now Herbie's got a new attitude now. What'd you say? You in the room, right? So
You in the
I
room. You in
I
the room.
go in. I set up my little stool and my little snare drum and the brushes. Herbie said one thing, gentlemen, like somebody says to you, Bill, "You got an acoustic guitar, bring your acoustic guitar." He said to me, "You got any brushes? Make sure you bring some brushes." But I was always taught to have a pair of brushes in my
Right.
bag, just in
Right.
case, brushes, mallets, couple
That's
pair
right.
of sticks.
That's
But
right.
young boys don't always know that. That's why I'm saying it for our listeners and stuff. Be
Yes.
prepared.
Be prepared.
Pencil sharpener. Do you have a pencil?
That's
You
right.
know, eraser, all of that
That's
stuff.
right.
So I had my
Paper, all
brushes
that.
in there. There was some new brushes, so I didn't mess up Ivan with them little tangly ones because you know they sound awful. But
Oh man,
anyway,
ooh, that's
I
the
set
worst.
up. I hung the little bag around the thing, and he played da 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 da. Okay, I played that right.
Yeah.
He played something else, but nobody else was coming to the rehearsal. I'm like, I thought it was a
A band thing. Yeah.
I thought it was an audition, or I thought it was a rehearsal. Nobody came. It was just me and him. And now that he's shaking because Miles done shook his cage, he said, "You go ahead home, and I'll call you with the details." And he said, "What's your phone number again? Let me talk to your dad." My dad talks to my dad. Okay, da 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 da. Dad. Now, what you said, Ivan, Dad took me to the Union the next day, Ivan.
Wow.
There you
Took
go.
me to Local 802.
That's
Where
right.
were they? And it took me to Local 802, signed me up, the card, you know, the thing. The guys are laughing. They said, "Buddy, you don't need no union card with this." I went legit. My pops
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
the thing. Great advice. I mean, you know, that was my
You're the right.
first gig like that where I knew, you know, that something could happen. Because yeah, I went to music and art. You had to audition. You had to be,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I played the piano, but I played the drum thing too and passed it. The same thing with Manhattan School of Music. I went and did the audition, but I just knew I wasn't getting in there. But because of the match grip thing, but my teacher Jim Price prepared me for a piece like you do with the kids, Bill or Damon. You prepare the kid for with a piece, two or three pieces that they can at least illustrate what they can do and what they can't do, and
Right.
take it from there. So we were prepared from that. But the first time I did that Herbie gig, and that Herbie gig went to Japan for Easter vacation.
Wow.
We played in Jersey at an outdoor festival, and I met Hugh Masekela. And who
Oh.
was in Hugh Masekela's band? The great Larry Willis
Oh.
and what's his name? John Hart or something like that played bass. And who was playing? Oh, Foster. Al Foster. Aloysius, but Al Foster. And from there, knew those guys. The rest show you how affinity. That's why it's like this, because that all comes back around in that little middle right there. I ended up working with Hugh Masekela in California with Herb Alpert. Larry Willis got us all on that gig, man.
Wow.
And
Wow, man.
that was right before we did Rise, and then he hired Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, some young producers that nobody knew. He scooped them up, and you know who hooked that up? Clarence Avon, the Godfather.
Clarence
Yeah.
Avon, yes.
Wow,
Now you know that's another show right there.
Oh
you're
yeah.
They
right.
got a thing on
Yeah, I saw it.
Netflix
It's
Yes.
about him right
it's
now.
very
But
good, actually.
I met Clarence Avon then and said, what you New York blanks doing here? What y'all New York? You know what he said with
Yep.
the N there. You know what he called us. And you were glad he was talking to you, much alone calling you your name that your homeboys call you. He was like, "What you New York niggas here?
That's
You going back
awesome.
to New York? Bring me some cheesecake." And didn't I bring Herbie Man back some? No, I brought a Herb Alpert back some cheesecake from Junior's on the plane, and I brought two, and he gave one to Clarence Avon. That guy never forgot. Oh, Mr. Cheesecake. But you know, that guy, what a genius cat.
Yeah,
Oh no,
blessing. Another blessing. Another
Hey,
that guy
blessing.
but
could walk into anywhere and convince the guy to give you the bank. I put it to you this way: he'll make you eat your shoe, and when he gets finished, you'll take off the other one and eat that one too. He could get the key to the bank. He was just that kind of deal maker. And what's the thing? I'm gonna say this and let it go. The Jedi mind meld. How the guys say, "You don't want to do that," and you'd say, "You don't want to do that because that's He would talk anybody into it. How many guys have gotten their gigs because of Clarence Avon, and they go, "How did I get that?" He said, "You were supposed to have it. I just went in there and suggested it to him." But he was one of those guys. If you said no to him, you didn't want to say no to him. How about that?
That's
Okay, I'm gonna be
crazy.
quiet now.
Hey,
Get
buddy,
us in trouble.
I want to just go back a hair and just, you mentioned so many influential people. Hugh Masekela was amazing cat. Beautiful cat.
Yeah.
Valerie Capers, I studied with her at Bronx Community. When I got out of high school, I went to Bronx Community College, and she was there, and there was some great musicians there. They had a whole Latin section. Oscar Hernandez and
Yes.
all these other heavy cats.
Yes.
It was just like this.
All them cats was at that school, bro.
That's right. So, but Valerie was there, and Valerie is how I met Dennis Davis. She brought Dennis up to the school to do a clinic.
It's a bad boy there, bro.
Oh,
Bad
and
boy.
Dennis talked. He did this great clinic. He beat the crap out the drums. He got up on the mic and started singing. You know,
Dennis.
After the thing, I gravitated right to him, and hey man, do you know so and so? And I said your name. I said Arthur's name. What, you know the cats? Gave me his number, and just love from that moment on. But so much happened through that, and then I got to tell you this crazy story. I could not get into music and art. See, I didn't have the formal training. I went to Catholic school. So I had a little bit of stuff. Yeah, but I was crushed. Buddy, I was crushed. But that sent me to Charlie Precept.
Oh, Sep. I played in his big band, man.
That sent me to him to get my eyes together and get some skills. And between him and Valerie Capers and some of the other things that I encountered then, because the thing about too was great. Bronx Community had a program set up with the Metropolitan Opera, so I was studying. Yeah. I was studying with Richard Horowitz at the Met, the Tip Cat. So
yes, sir.
Other stuff too. So happy that I had that experience, because it just, to work with these singers like you said, the Nick and Val's and Roberta, and those senses that the dynamic playing, and especially with Roberta, is ridiculous.
Oh Lord!
Oh God!
I just got to chill.
Yeah. Right.
I just got to chill. Yeah. brushes, and brushes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. What's up? Because we had Sherrod here last week.
Oh yes.
Right.
Sherrod
that was a great show. That's a bad boy there, man.
I was chuckling when he mentioned it, because we were in the band together.
Okay.
Sherrod,
I know.
myself, Catrice,
right.
Yep.
God rest her soul.
Jerry. I was there for a little bit while Nard was there. He popped in and out. But Shelton. Shelton Beckton. I mean, amazing cast.
Dr. Beckton, boy, that's another genius. That's another show.
Oh, whole nother show.
That's a whole nother hour of what a genius cat. Underrated. He's a secret weapon behind so many everything.
Unbelievable.
And just as sweet as he can be, just genius. Beautiful voice, and could really play the piano. I mean, just play the piano.
Oh my God.
Wear it out.
Unbelievable musician. Unbelievable.
Yes, sir. He went to Howard too, like Roberta. He went to Howard. HB,
Okay. So really quick, gentlemen, while I got you, I have, because I have my media man, Charlie Certain here, and Charlie's going to, play up some things that I have, that I caught up on and doing the research for you both. So let's play that. Charlie, you ready for that, sir?
Uh-oh. Ha!
And we'll
no audio.
Oh, no. That's Rashid's record.
Yeah.
On Letterman. That's Letterman. Yeah, that's a Letterman. Look at Stanley Banks, y'all.
Stanley
Yes,
Banks, he
me.
got the
Yes.
another
tambourine.
bad boy, my dude.
He
The
play that
tambourine.
bass and play the tambourine on his foot.
Oh,
Unless Ralph McDonald's around. Ralph McDonald tell him that, well, I can't say that. You know?
He can't say what he
I don't know
said.
what Ralph said. Letterman, y'all got that. Beautiful. Send that to me, bro. I can't even find
Yeah, that's up on YouTube.
that.
That's right. You put Buddy
Okay, beautiful, brother.
with
Beautiful. Thank
Benson.
you.
That's the
Thank you.
first thing that'll come up. That'll be the first thing that'll come up. And
Yeah. That's a great brother right there, y'all. Very
oh yeah,
underrated. George Benson is a
oh,
genius cat, y'all.
amazing,
Genius
come
cat,
on,
and just the
buddy.
sweetest to be.
amazing,
Beautiful,
amazing.
man.
And Bill's hero.
Exactly. You got it. I worked on a tune for him with Nard, Lenny White, and Lala.
Man,
Look at that.
And it didn't make the record, but when Visionis was open, my boy Gus Tillis was running it, and I happened to go in there, and he came over to me. He said, yo, man, George is here, and you were working on that tune. Why don't you go say hello? I said, man, he ain't going to know who I am, this, that, and the other.
No.
So I go over to the table,
and George was great.
and I said, my name is B.White. I was
Tom
working
Malone.
on a tune
Look
for
at
him. He's
that
like,
boy.
hey, man, I know you. Sit down. I was like, you know me. What do you mean
That's
you
right,
know
Bill.
me?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
forget nothing, bro.
Yeah,
Sat right down, man, and it was just beautiful, man. I never forget that story, man. Woo, that was crazy. Blew
Great
me
brother,
away.
man.
How you gonna
Great
tell
brother.
me you know me?
beautiful.
He's a genius cat. You could play a tune for George Benson. I know it's not George Benson time, but you could play a tune for George Benson, and one time he'll not only have it, he'll play it back at you, and he'll play a beautiful chord,
Yeah.
and you don't want to say nothing. Oh, there's Bubba. You don't want to say nothing. You don't want to say nothing, but he'll play that chord just like Richard T. He'll play a chord. You'll go, oh no, never mind. Play that chord. Play that chord. That's at the old SIR, where that used to be the Cheetah, and that's Run
Wow.
for Cover. I'm
Run
sure
for
that's
Cover.
Run for Cover.
Wow.
Right.
yes,
right.
it is.
Look at the
Love it.
brother.
Hiram. Oh, man.
Hiram is gone.
Oh,
And
man.
Don
man.
Grelnick
Oh,
is over
man.
there
Hiram.
playing keyboards.
Unbelievable.
Don Grelnick died right after we did this thing right here.
Oh,
What?
They've done
Wow.
a little tour, and Don Grelnick agreed to come and play with Bubba, and a great experience. What great days, and we did all of that in one day. They just set up in that big sound stage that
Yeah.
used to be a theater, and they
Right.
put railroad tracks down for the cameras to run back and forth, and that's
Wow.
why you see like the square with the light lit up there and light lit up somewhere else. It was very artistic, but it came out nice. Even Hamish Stewart came to sing Love and Happiness. That was a great day.
Wow.
wow. Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie, for that. Thank you for that. We're gonna come back up with
Thank you.
with what becomes a piece for Ivan as well. But gentlemen, again, I thank you for doing this. This is so awesome, great information. As I knew it was just gonna pour out. And usually after we get 30 minutes in, it really comes from the heart, because we're all getting really comfortable. But this is awesome. And again, this is the If You Don't Know, Now You Know show that we've been doing this thing. Now you know,
Now
now
you
you
know.
know,
Now
now
you
you
know.
know,
brother. That's
whoa.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
stuff.
and it's because it's information that folks, don't get, and it's information that needs to be expressed because otherwise it's going to get lost. We're in a crazy time right now, and things are getting swept under the rug, and it's just our way of explaining it, and this is so awesome. And to continue, because you guys have touched on so many things, kind of pretty much without even asking you, you've touched on it. So my thing, I think, which was really important, because you said something great, buddy, and Ivan, as far as what to have in a stick bag. A lot of drummers don't know what to have to be prepared for any situation that they walk up into. Like, saying the brushes and the mallets and all that's in there, having your just so that you're prepared for anything. And so what would you say for that, being prepared? Because there's that difference from a studio session, different live session, and the charts and all, just being prepared for anything that'll come up. And what would your advice be for that?
Ivan first.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, you want to start with the basics, and nice solid stick that you're comfortable with, your weight, size. I like having alternative weight. A smaller stick. 7A, a 5.
Right.
You know. There was a time when I was much younger. I was swinging a 2B around. Y'all know what that is.
Woo!
Yeah,
Woo!
that was big stick. So
Yogi.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
playing them those,
Yogi.
playing those arenas, man. Just
Yeah, Yogi used to play them too.
yeah,
Them two
yeah,
B big baseball bats.
baseball. So
God rest his soul, boy.
oh my
He was
God,
bringing it
he
too.
was he was bringing it every day.
He had to play those two Bs, not to step on you. He had to play those two Bs because he hit so hard,
Oh
man.
yeah.
And
Everything
he
else he was
shattered them suckers.
yeah, he was taking out snare
And
drums,
he was getting
man.
mad. Yeah. He getting mad. He getting mad, man. Until he met Hoggy. Hoggy stopped that.
Woo.
Hoggy said, "I got something for you." That's good ever since. Okay, go. I'm sorry. I'm
So
sorry.
no, so you got you got a multiple weight with your sticks. Of course, your brushes. You want
Yes,
to have a pair
Lord.
of brushes. You want to have a pair of mallets. My personal taste has been some of the temp mallets that Vic Firth does. The T1s, different sizes. Again, um, I do enjoy some of uh, the hybrid things they've been making. With the Waka, what I forget what you call them, the Wakas, whatever's, and
Yes.
so you get these, so you can get some other colors.
Yes.
But I think that's the basics. Of course, something you said, a pencil.
I'm
A
sorry.
Hello.
pencil.
I'm sorry. I'm old.
A
Pencil. Or
pencil.
as Uncle Buster would say, a pencil. A
A
pencil.
pencil. So you
Yeah.
get on the session, and when I'm teaching, I tell students that. I said, look, you know, here's the music. It's the first time you're looking at it. Grab a pencil. I tell them, listen, I've been on sessions with amazing players. That's the first thing that happens.
Yeah. I got
Everybody's
a
looking
pencil
through
in
it.
every
Okay,
gig bag I got.
watch out for this spot. Look out for this.
That's
What the
right.
hell is that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's count it off and make your note
Yeah.
so you can execute. So you definitely, the sticks. Uh, I got used to carrying like a little towel or something, just in case. I might need that. Get the sweat out your eye while you trying to read the chart or something. You know. Yeah, right. Hey.
Okay, I don't
Sweetie.
have
All right,
mine. Okay.
Thank you, sweetie. My wife, brothers. That's all I can say.
you
Shit.
know,
Where's your handkerchief?
a drum key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
keep
that's
one
the
of those in
worst.
my pocket,
I keep them up.
and I'm
Me
a
too.
guitar player.
Right.
You dig?
That's a
Yeah.
good tool, though. That's a
It's a
good
good
Yeah.
tool.
tool. It's a good tool. It's a good tool.
Yeah, especially if you're hopping around, you go to a club or you go into a session, and it's not your personal instrument.
Oh,
You
Lord.
might need to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
So that's always great to have. I think that's pretty much covers most of what you would need, to execute any type of, different style, genre of music to play.
Do you think because a lot of the sessions they're not really using sheet music? I mean, I come from that school with reading,
Yeah.
but a lot of the drummers and just musicians in general, they're coming with I'd say a carry bag, and they don't have any of that stuff in there because they're not being forced to do that. You think that's a problem? I mean, I know you still
Uh,
should have a pencil regardless, but
yeah. You know what? I'll say this. Uh, Seeing some of these younger players and musicians, you got that church crowd, but I think so many of them are going to school. They're going to college. They're getting some education. I think a lot of these younger players are fairly, literate. They can read through stuff if they need to. They probably don't get the opportunity much.
Right.
You know, I think just the way music is now, you know, hey man, play this groove, stick here, blah blah, 8 measures, go there.
But we were talking about that last week. It's a muscle. Just like writing is a muscle. You have to just read anything. I mean, Billy was talking about just I got flute books, I got cello books, just read. I mean, my mother was a pianist, so
yeah, man.
I got reams of music. I said, oh, let me take this out and try to read it. Hard, classical, Schubert, Mozart, stuff like that. So
yeah, man. I'm not going that deep, but
I'm not saying I got through it, buddy. Okay. I said I pulled it out.
For you to even say it, I'm bowing down because I get scared when I hear that stuff. I told you I stopped playing the piano to play the drums so I could get away from that stuff. I was so scared of it because I grew up around, like we all have family members that was musicians. So you hear them play that stuff and go up and down. And then Uncle Eubie Blake lived down the street from me, y'all.
Mercy. And
they put me on his lap, and he said, "Now, son, I'm gonna help you. You need to play your scales so you can go out and hang with your boys. So we're gonna do this." And he'd play the strike, and I'd play da 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 two octave da 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 new key da 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 da, and he did. And he made it fun. Boom, boom, boom. And his fingers looked like an octopus. You know how the tentacles, his fingers are so long and just like this. And he's doing like this. And then he'd laugh and say, "Okay, you can go now." Because my folks with me, my folks went home. My grandmother was a minister. She'd go to see the sick and shut in, go to Uncle Eubie's house, and Aunt Marion and Uncle Eubie will let you in. And you do make sure you practice your piano. And she said, "Eubie, make sure you practice this piano. Don't let them go out there with them boys." And she, everybody was a sinner except for, you know what I mean? So, but I couldn't wait to get away. And then Miss Bernard, God bless her, she would give me music that was more popular with jazz chords, flat five, up, but I couldn't wait to go. I want to play the drums, and everybody was mad at me except for Dad and Uncle Eubie. Here I am today. Where did I just come from? Playing at church. I played several church gigs, but they didn't at my AME church over here. I gave them a set of Yamaha drums. I got them a set of Yamaha drums for Christmas before last, and watch this, Ivan, and bought them. Went and bought the drums from Guitar Center on 14th Street because the Japan guys, it would take too long for them to get it, and they needed a new set for their Christmas show. I went over there, and them guys were like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, did you leave them?" No, I said, no, I need this set. Well, we'll give you a lower price. They were like, "Oh, well, don't tell on us." I mean, what do you mean don't tell on us? I bought a set of drums from you. They're Yamaha. I'm Yamaha. Help me out. Butch came and got the shout out to our brother Butch. Butch came with the truck and the guys. Brought them to church. Yamaha Zildjian cymbals. You know what I mean? And left. Didn't ask for a check. Didn't put it on my taxes or none of that stuff. You get it back. But I say that to say they had a good instrument because they didn't. They had the church had the pipe organ and they had that beautiful long piano. And then they went and bought a Hammond B3, even though they had the big pipe organ up in there. But they were rocking all of that. But they didn't have no drums when I was coming up until, later on. And then I got them a set of Yamahas. I still put drum heads over there for the guys where I don't play over there. I play at the other church out in Queens. And everybody laughs at me and says, "Your church is across the street and you don't play for your church, but it's just music." All I'm doing is helping these folks get their church on. You know what I mean? Get their praise on and come on home and talk to Damon and Bill and Ivan. Because I was definitely on that Interborough trying. Oh, excuse me. They called Jackie Robinson. Now I dated myself, but I was trying to get around that zigzag to get here without getting a ticket because I was trying to be on time for y'all. Thank you for having me, though.
Yeah, man. Please, man.
No,
I appreciate you. But fellas, and listen to everything you say and knowing how awesome players you are. Would you say that playing the piano helped out as far as you being a better drummer?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Amen.
what would you
So
say
I
about
mean,
that?
so it's a percussion instrument.
Right. A lot of people don't know that.
You're right.
Exactly.
It's a percussion. You strike it, but absolutely understanding progressions and harmonies and paying attention to melody. It makes you such, for me, is much more of a sensitive player, being able, to hear, a diminished chord, a minor chord, and hear it. It's helped me not get lost in a chart. And I'm like, oh crap! There's that sharp 9. Okay, I found my play. You see,
There you go.
So I love the master rhythm tracks, charts. I want to
Yeah.
see the bass line.
Yeah.
I want to see the
Yeah.
chord. I want to see
Yeah.
my part. Yeah, put it all on there. I want to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And I can respond. But absolutely the piano. I play it now almost every day. At some point, I sit down. I read through some of the fake books.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
just read through, playing some of the changes and working out stuff, trying to play the melody, read the charts. Like you said, keep that muscle working. But yeah, and I play a little guitar, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, so from the '70s, the band I came up with, that neighborhood band, it was all guitar players. We didn't have a
Right.
keyboard player.
No keyboard.
So,
So
hey
do
man,
so do you
show
listen?
me a chord.
What do you listen to in the rhythm section? What's your favorite part of the rhythm section to listen to?
Oh no! Come on.
I'm the bass player and the drum
Okay.
and the piano player.
Okay, bass player and piano player. All right.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah,
Same.
yeah, yeah.
Same.
Keep the bottom, keep because
Same.
the bass player is
Bass.
playing a great bass player is playing great time.
Yes, sir.
He's playing rhythm with you, and
Yes, sir.
so is your piano player, and the piano player is establishing the harmonic motion and
Harmonic
movement
motion.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other one is, depending on the artist, I want to hear the melody. I want to hear the melody. I tell drummers all the time, learn the melody. If you learn the melody, that everything all rhythm players, we're supporting that.
Yeah. Michael
That's what we're
Carvin.
there
Michael
for.
Carvin taught me that.
That's
Michael Carvin.
that's the fun.
Tabo.
Learn the memory. Tabo. Yeah.
Tabo.
Learn the melody, know the melody, and if you really want to get nice, learn the words. So I got a great story. Buddy, do you know Maxine Roach? Max's daughter.
I went to school
Yeah.
with
Right.
Maxine.
Okay. We were
I
doing
went to Manhattan School of Music with her.
we did uh the Dance Theater of Harlem. We had done some
Beautiful.
performances at City Center. She was in the
Beautiful.
orchestra. This is in the '80s. Her car broke down.
Out.
So on my way home, I had to pass her, and she said, "Hey, I said, oh man, I don't mind giving you a lift." I got her in the car. I'm like, "Oh man, I got Max's daughter in the car. I'm ready to pick her brain for anything I can get." And so, I say, "Come on, I know you got a dad story." So she tells me this story. He hired her. Max hired her to do some gig, and he told her, "Here's the music. Make sure you learn the words." And, a couple months from now is the gig. Time goes by, gig comes up on her, and she's like, "Oh crap!" And she jumps in there and learns the music. Didn't mess around with what his request was. They do the gig, and she told me he was furious. He got off the stage. He said, "You didn't learn the words. What the heck?" She said, "How do you know? You would have played this so differently.
Wow.
You would have addressed this melody completely differently if you understood what the words were." This is the '80s. She told me that stuck with me forever. Learn the words, understand the story, the melody. It's a marriage, and you play different. Your dynamic range is going to change.
Yeah.
All of those things. Do I push the tempo? Do I lay back on this?
Right.
All of those things get affected by the story and the melody, so, and that all goes back to the piano for me,
Yeah.
melody and harmony, man.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, major instrument.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that, buddy? How do you feel thoughts on it?
No. He said, listen. That's why I said let Ivan tell you, because he can say better than me. He can say it better than me. All I can say is Max Roach was one of the greatest teachers to ever be. Y'all, he could sit down at it, have a stool and a hi-hat and a pair of sticks.
Oh, man.
That used to be
and
amazing.
take you around the world.
Unbelievable.
And you'll never do it. You can try, but you'll never do it.
Yep.
And then he laughs at you. And then just the little tidbits that came out of his mouth. I used to go and just watch Boom Boom, his percussion ensemble.
That was
Warren Smith and all.
Warren Smith was my teacher.
Oh.
So he said, come on down to 27th of the street. We're going to be rehearsing.
Yeah.
And they would have all these different arrangements and the thing.
I met him when I was like 12 or 13.
Wow.
Because of Cecil Bridgewater was in the band with Reggie Workman.
Oh,
Cecil,
yes.
Billy Harper.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there like,
I
was
just
little. I didn't
those
know what I was
guys.
doing. I was like, man.
That at least, like you said, you see the timpani, but you saw it in another setting.
Yeah.
You saw Max and all of them. Joe Chambers.
Right.
Joe Chambers. I almost said something. Joe Chambers with the mallets.
Yes.
He'd have the 4 mallets.
Oh, yeah.
And the changes and the compositions that he would write. Each one of those guys wrote beautiful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Max was a great teacher. And I never forget him saying to somebody, do that on your gig, on my gig. Now look what he said to his daughter, his flesh and blood.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I told you to learn the lyrics. Yeah, I know you can play these damn notes here. I know that. But I told you to learn the lyrics. If you were to learn the lyrics, that was his lesson. And he can always bust you on whether you was listening to him or not. Because he tell you, I ain't talking to you no more. You ain't listening to me, so I'm not talking.
Wow.
Yeah, he was amazing, man. He was amazing. I was so happy. He used to be involved with the Harlem School of the Arts a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my oldest son got to have an experience with him, which I was so happy about. That that lineage, that generational.
Yeah,
stuff,
beautiful.
man. For my kid to get in the room with him and be able to have that experience, it was great.
Yeah. Max, man.
Well, fellas, again, I thank you for this, right? And definitely because Warren was my teacher from Old Westbury, so I got to see the whole M Boom thing and just nothing but the paper was just nothing for them, Just it was just this is it,
I grew up around the corner from Warren, so I mean. Warren and Cecil, and I used to just go around the corner. They'd be practicing. I'd be like, can I just sit here and watch?
Good for you, man. Lucky you, man.
Yeah, very blessed, man.
It's a blessing. And as well with you guys, just because I don't, I can't even remember when I met Ivan. Can't remember when I met Buddy. But it's like whenever it's like that, So it's awesome. So I thank you guys. This is if you don't know now you know show. And we're just bringing up some great information. We're going to continue. I have a few more things to discuss, but I just want to thank everybody for their support. And with the Cash App, because we're just trying to get some more, just so that we can have the videos and we can go back and forth, trying to get everything together and just talk about. Buddy, man. See,
soon you're just gonna have to be able to just go like that in the screen, and it just
pop right up.
In a little slot.
Exactly.
But you guys, it's awesome. So it's like, real quick, it's it's the Cash App, it's the money sign that you need for it. NYCM Collective. It's a New York City Musicians Collective. So what kind of thing that we've been doing a few years back, we did the tribute for Marcus. We did the tribute for Valerie Simpson.
Valerie
You know,
Simpson.
we just try to do different things. We love the community. We're blessed with this community. You know, and on for what you guys have done and will do, and we'll keep going forward. This is such an awesome thing here, and to move forward, I wanted to ask because being I did the research on you guys, working with MDs. This is a relationship that I know. Who's the MD that relationship that was the best relationship? I said I like working with this guy because you got something out of it. Who's individually, because you all have worked with great artists. Who would be that
nice,
MD?
buddy. Be nice now. Be nice, buddy. Be nice,
Ivan first. I'm gonna be quiet. Ivan first.
I can't say there's one.
Good answer.
I mean.
Yes, very good answer, Ivan. Very good.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, and I'll say this too, especially on the younger side. Some of those MDs, were teachers. I learned so much about my role in the band on the stage with those MDs, or how to deal with my artists too. They're the in between, but that, and Buddy knows this. A great MD is in love with his drummer if he got the right drummer. That's because we drive the band.
Basically.
Right. Yeah, the form.
Right? You know that
form,
too.
Yeah.
You know that. We drive it. And he wants hey, you going too fast. If you responded to your MD, they love you. So I'll go down, I'll name some, of course, Raymond Chew, Nat Adderley Jr.
Yeah.
Shelton Beckton.
You naming them all right? That's what I said. You said them.
Joe Joubert was great.
JoJo.
Oh God, I've been lucky enough to Pendarvis. More of a conductor, but Harold Wheeler, man, just being in the room with Harold, I learned stuff. In some inside stuff, just dealing with the chart and dealing with the music and his arrangement. He was writing some great crap, man. Just So I mean, there's so many of them that are really highly skilled players, but understood how to make it all work. The big picture and to have that relationship with them, and I've always felt like let me pay attention. I'm supporting them so that they can get what they need to get done for the boss. And that marriage, So no, there's great, cats. They all have their way. They all, but at the end of the day, you knew the real deal from somebody that was just fumbling around trying to, make stuff work. You could tell, who knows what they're doing. So yeah.
Okay, you named them all, but now I'm gonna pull them out the hat. Onaje Allen Gum.
Yep.
He saved me when Phyllis came to town. Onaje Allen Gum said, "Yo, man, there's a sister. She can really sing. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." I met Phyllis. Phyllis don't forget nothing since then. God rest her soul. Onaje Allen Gums. Wait. We got to say them other guys though. Zane Mark.
Yes.
Dow Waters.
Yes.
I worked with Zane.
Come on, bud. Say it right. Zane and Dow, and you said Shelton and them. They Joseph Gilbert. I mean, but wait, Uncle Buster, you got to say Bill Eaton, because Bill Eaton, all he had to do was not. He just gave you a look. Richard T. If those guys were the MD, you said MDs, but I'll tell you another secret weapon that people don't know that they're the MD, and you look at somebody else and he's the MD. Howard Johnson,
Wow.
the great
Yes.
tuba,
Yes.
Yes.
horn
Howard. Yeah.
Wow.
arranger.
Yes.
The reason why I got in the door was because of Howard Johnson via Earl McIntyre.
Wow.
Earl McIntyre, great arranger,
Yes.
trombone cat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Orchestrator.
that's why I said you name.
Yeah, man.
And let's not forget our godfather, that the reason why we're all talking about music or doing music as black men in this business is Bob Cranshaw.
Oh,
Now, I'm
yeah.
not being
Yeah.
racist.
No,
I'm
you're
just
That's
not.
right.
telling it like it is.
That's what it
The
is.
reason why we have what we have and have these benefits like a union, like a health plan, like brothers supporting brothers, and we're on this format, this platform, is a man like Bob
Absolutely.
Cranshaw. Bob Cranshaw was doing it way before our parents, except for mine. My daddy, Bob was playing for my daddy and them in a band, but my father be 100 and something years old now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But my point is this. Bob Cranshaw came from an era, and he brought it all the way to now, and he's still taking care of us as we speak.
That's something.
We have a union. What did we just say about the union, about being on time, about jingles, about doing the TV, doing the MDs, playing music, bring your pencil. All these things you learn from them, but you learn from them, yeah, they didn't always say it to you. They did it by example.
That's
You
right.
got there early. You set up your
That's
stuff.
right.
You map out the music. You go if you really have a problem with it, go talk to the piano player
That's
or
right.
talk to the bass player or something. What do you think this is? And then that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know that at least you're trying to get a heads up and just diplomacy, if
Yes.
I can use that, decorum.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Those guys were very, but those were great MDs because, like y'all said, if the drummer and the piano player, or if the drummer and the MD are cool, then everything else will fall into place. That's why a lot of these shows, the drummer is the MD's guy.
Yeah.
Cy Coleman, God rest his soul.
Oh, man.
He used to say, I know I sent you
Yes,
sent
you
you
did.
there.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
but
no, that was a joy. And he was hilarious.
Okay.
He was funny.
Yes.
He was funny.
He's one of the greatest writers. 50 of the most popular songs in music history was written by Cy Coleman, and he was a jazz piano player.
Yep.
Nobody really realized that that's all he wanted to do is play jazz piano.
Yep.
He'd show you voicings of Duke Ellington, Art Tatum. He would play all the brothers. And I'm not being racist. I'm just saying the voicings of those different pianists and their approach. Count Basie, and he knew them all. And he had little bitty hands, but boy, did he get over that
all
piano.
over the piano, man.
And great writer, and as sweet as could be. And he was one of the great MDs because he would put you in the middle of a thing and you'd go, oh my God, what am I doing here? And he'd come over to you, or he'd look at you and go, like, don't worry about it. I got you, buddy. Play what we discussed. When the world around him heard that, play what we discussed, and you go, you didn't say, oh, okay. And you just play it. But that was the code. All right, don't worry about it. I got you. And you play with him, and he do it, and then everybody else will chime in, and everything was fine. I mean, he was just a wonderful gift to us as musicians, no matter who you were, because he could apply. Listen, I came into the crib one time, and I was bringing the drums in to rehearse. Same thing, bringing my drums. No, I didn't have Butch that day. I carry my drums sometimes. I brought the drums in, my little hip gig, I put it down, and he was on the phone with his publisher guy, and he's saying, well, I don't know this Missy Elliott. I never heard of her before, and she's already sampled. She's already did Big Spender and sampled, and then I said, Cy, tell him yes and hang up the phone. I never said that to him before. And he said, I'll call you back. Yes, but he said to say yes. And the guy, his publisher knew who we were. We're family. He hung up the phone. Gary Haas was there. He hung up the phone, and he looked at me. I said, "Cy, go upstairs. Your daughter's playing WBLS right now, and the Big Spenders' big hit of Missy Elliott, your daughter's up there singing it, and she don't know that you wrote it." And he kind of like, "Thank you, buddy. I didn't know who it was." And he called me alarmed, like, Missy Elliott sampled your song and she's using your song. And meanwhile, it was a big hit. And wait now, y'all, it was in a movie as well. Now, cha-ching and cha-ching. And all I did was say, "Cy, hang up the phone. Don't worry about Missy Elliott doing Missy Elliott." He had a little girl, and her name is her middle name is Cy. I forgot her first name, but she was singing it. He said, he started playing it, and I played the beat that it was with him playing his song, and she said, "Oh, Daddy, that's on the radio," and I said, "Uh-huh," and Cy just kind of looked at me like, "Okay, buddy, okay," but I say that to say, here's the guy. He is Barbra Streisand, Lucille Ball. Now that's how many years in between there, and all the musicals that he has provided. Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra fight over singing his songs. You know what I mean, on their records, and these are standards that'll go on for years and years and years and years. And here's this cat that's like us, hanging out, playing the flat five and playing the diminished and playing the blues. And all he wanted to do is play the piano, and he's writing tunes, and he loved co-writing with people. But what a great writer and individual. And yes, he was an MD, but he was more than that,
Buddy, when you sent me to go cut that stuff for him, I knew who he was, and I knew he had done some plays and stuff. I was not aware of this discography of the tunes. I'm sitting there going, witchcraft?
Witchcraft.
Beth is yet to come?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm sitting there going, who is this dude? It was ridiculous. I was just like blown away, sitting there playing these stuff that I heard as a kid growing up.
Right.
That is so awesome.
It was ridiculous.
It is awesome, bro. Wow.
That is awesome. Well, fellas, that's like, that's what I'm talking about. That's the stuff that folks will never know. They need to hear about it because we take so much for granted. We keep moving on, with all this new music that's out, but to have an understanding about everybody that you're speaking about is so important moving forward. And I like to, at this point, like touch on a few things like Buddy with you being the chair with the Saturday Night Live. Folks don't know that. It's kind of, I didn't know that. It's like when I found out, I said, what? I listened to the track,
I remember that.
I listened to
that big time.
I listened to that one that I think Marcus sent it to you, or you sent it to Marcus, and it has just the end, the outro tune, the final song that you would play, and it was just killing, just kind of how that will come about, was it totally charted out because the feeling that you had along with Marcus and all, which you recommended him for that audition for that, which was awesome. And so it's like all that history is awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was watching Buddy back then, man. Like, dang.
Listen, and the two brothers that I just named, Howard Johnson, Rob Cranshaw.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
That's why I was on that gig.
That's right.
Those guys didn't know who I was, but nobody knew who Paul Schaefer and Howard Shaw was either.
Right.
Folks in town knew who I was. They knew to listen to Bob Cranshaw, and Bob Cranshaw and Howard Johnson, they were the contractor, get the cats together. Paul Schaefer's genius self, I almost said that word, but Paul Schaefer's genius self, he was just amazing. He's so unassuming.
Yes.
You see this cat in the long hair and the Elton John glasses and the receding, but bro, he sit down and play Billy Preston, and then go play play McCoy Tyner. all in one setting. If you play any kind of song, any kind of music like that, he can jump in and not pick along. He can play compared to what you said, Les. He can play compared to what? He can play the Brahms and the Born to Die. He can play those rock tunes. So when we played them shows, like with Olivia Newton-John or any of that stuff, and I got to tell the story about Bette, and I'll leave it alone. Well, I left Saturday Night Live to go play with Bette Midler. I was the first drummer, and then I split. And those guys kind of was not really happy with me, but I'm somebody's daddy. I was young. I needed a steady check. Saturday Night Live had just started. Remember when Saturday Night Live just started? Some of y'all are too young out there in the audience, but you can see it on YouTube. George Carlin got on there, and he set fire to them. So any of that other little stuff they were doing was cute, and it was dark. And they were just, they didn't have the budget like they have now. It's movies at Saturday Night Live. It's a movie.
I remember that low budget.
I remember.
So I went to go do Bette Midler. Then I came back, and those guys bring your blank here. And I came and I played, and I was like, thank you. And all the guys, and Bob was still there playing, and Howard, and Bob. I was just so happy. And so Bette Midler came to play the show. Bette came on. There's a rehearsal on Thursday. She came in the room. She walked up on the stage, the bandstand, said, well, Buddy Williams, you finally they let you get your gig back, huh? Now, I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm going to have to say it like the diva said it. You son of a bitch bastards worried this poor guy for a whole year with me, 2 years. All he said was, those guys are going to kill me. This guy was worried about you guys. I hope you realize he loved you guys, and I'm glad you got him back, because you guys really worried this poor guy.
That's great.
The camera guys, the sound guys, they all fell out. The guy that's on the crane camera, he fell off his thing because nobody expected her to come in there. And she took the minky, her little minky, and threw it on. She said, hanging minky. She put it on the piano. And she came in there with her knives sharpened because she was coming to cuss them out, because she was worried that I lost my gig, because they told me, well, you better get a contract, because don't nobody know who this bitch is, and you might mess up, man, and quit the gig and do that. I said, okay. And you know who said that? Ivan. I can't tell on him, but anyway. So I told her, I said, Bette, these guys are telling me I need to get a contract from you because I'm quitting that TV show. She said, what TV show? I said, Saturday Night Live. She said, ugh. Well, don't worry. Don't worry about it. If you want a contract, I'll give you a contract, but don't worry about it. I got you. And she's been a lady of her word. Here it is 40 years later. What show did I just finish playing, gentlemen? Hello, Dolly with Bette. What did we just say about the drummer and the field? What's the name of this show? Going for the field. They had this whole Hello, Dolly thing going. She loves jazz. She loves swing. Her homage, her template for her version of Hello, Dolly came from Pearl Bailey's version.
Right.
I got no problem with Cal Channing or anybody. I'm just telling you what the menu said. What'd you just say? The music reads, play it like this, but didn't happen for her, and she was not happy. By the grace of God, John Miller called my number because it was the time of year where all the great ones that played that stuff was working on their new show so they could get a Tony. And this was the 11th hour, getting ready to be the 13th hour, and the diva was not happy. God is good all the time.
That's right.
I answered the phone.
That's right.
I looked at my phone and said, well, I hope I don't owe him no money. I know he's not calling me for no gig. And little did I know to shut up, What do I just say? Show up, shut up, play the music. He said, hey, man, we're down here doing Bette. I said, oh, man, tell her hello. Tell her yourself. Can you come tomorrow? I really need you to come down here because and now fellas, how you say to yourself, well, I hope this guy ain't BSing me, man, but you know how you heard it in his voice and something said to Buddy, and y'all gonna love this, Buddy. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Shut up.
Don't say nothing. Just bring your butt down here. I went to his house. I got the book. It had those lead sheets, like you said. I got there the next morning. This was when everybody, the cast, the principals, and the orchestra was all going to play together for the first time. Wow. And I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. I'm biting nails. I don't have that muscle like y'all. I'm going to admit it. I hear it before I see it. I can see it. I don't practice as much as I should. Y'all gonna make me go blow the dust off these little books and make myself do this. But I'm gonna tell the truth. I gotta say this for these kids that are listening, because if they don't hear me say it, who's gonna tell them? It ain't no cream, peaches and cream. There's some bitter stuff there. There's some vinegar, and there's some hot sauce that's gonna burn it. And as my daddy would say, if you think it's hot going in, wait till it comes out. Now, let's go back to what I was saying. I went and played what I could, but the conductor came over to me and said, hey, I know who you are. You're going to be all right. Just get through today, and then we'll rehearse you, and we'll get it together. So, yeah, we played the feel. We're talking about the feel. I played the feel of the music. Maybe some of the hits I didn't get, but I played through the feel of the music.
Yeah.
When the rehearsal was over, the big orchestra and everything, they were nice. They patted on their stands. Yay, buddy. And then the diva came running through the orchestra, knocking the music stands over, and gave me a big hug.
Love it.
And said, I'm so glad you're here.
That's it.
And, now, typical Buddy would say, well, you should have called me in the first place. What did I say? Show up. Come on, Ivan. Show up. Shut up. Shut up. Play the music.
That's it.
And shut up is the hard one. I can't do that finger on TV. We're going to be in trouble. You all know what finger it is. So there, I know I'm saying it, but there's a perfect example of that.
That's real.
So, yeah, I didn't know that MD, but me and the MD got real tight. Too tight. He wouldn't let me take off, because anytime I wasn't there, but he was scared that anytime I took off, it was going to go awry. He wouldn't let me use my subs. And I'm saying this publicly because kids are going to have that problem with your boss, your MD, your significant other. I can name another boss of ours we had, whose name is Roberta Flack. She did not like me playing. I'm saying it, Ivan. I'm saying it.
Oh, yeah.
She did not like me playing with other people and missing her gigs because she was used to me playing. I said Ivan's name. I said this one's name. I said that one's name. Wilby Fletcher. God bless his soul.
Oh,
I got him on the gig.
Man.
She kept Wilby and she rubbed them in my nose, which I didn't care. I was glad she was happy because I known Roberta since we were in high school of music and art. And we played for her, me and Nat and Cisco, at Jackie Robinson's house up in Connecticut when he gave his jazz fair, which is now an official thing. He did it in his backyard of his estate with that big lake and all of that. And we played for Herbie Mann, Leon Thomas, That's how we played for all of those people, coming from that space. So, and then there's another guy I know, God rest his soul, and he's one of the greatest soul singers ever. And I'm sorry, Peebo, you're going to be mad at me, but he'll say it too. Luther Vandross, Ronzoni Vandross.
Man.
That brother was mad with me, Ivan, until he left this earth.
Really? Y'all never...
And he was mad at me. You were gone with Roberta and what's my man? Byron was with Rochelle Farrell. And me and Marcus went to the Essence thing.
Yes, I remember this.
New Orleans.
Yes.
And our maestro and Nat Adderley and myself and Kroon was still there.
Right.
We all played, we rehearsed, and that was the time period where somebody was making a rumor that Luther was dead. Oh my God. Remember that bullshit?
Yes.
Anyway, remember that?
Yeah.
So he came out. We played Never Too Much first. You know, I played on the record. We did the thing, no click, one take. That story, everybody knows that story. Okay. So me and Marcus are playing it. And Marcus, you know, listen, Marcus is so funny. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
He'll stand there and he knows what's getting ready to happen. He's looking at Luther and he's looking at me. He's looking at Luther and he's looking at me. And he knew Luther was going to say something. And that's where I'm locking in with Luther's feet and dancing and Nat and everybody. And he said, I can't believe I have the original band up here. And the people are clapping. And then he says to the ladies in the audience, he says, I look pretty good for a dead man, huh, ladies? And they, he said, I don't know whoever said that, but I'm looking for my new wife tonight. Lord have mercy. The women ran to the front of the stage. The guard, the security guards locked arms, and they all turned around and gave him that look like, gee, thanks a lot. You just start to show off like that. And when those guys got hit, it was like all the football teams, not the red, it was all the football teams hit them like,
oh, yeah.
And they locked arms, and them ladies stood there all night like that. And Luther, even, three-fourths through the show, because there was no set list. So he said, Marcus, play a D. If this world was mine. And it was like a club gig.
Yep.
It was like a club gig. Luther Vandross doing a club gig with his own tunes. And the women's, and then we closed with house, and then we did whatever his hit was then. But I say that to say, these guys, they get locked into you. And when Yogi died, I got a phone call. I was in Jersey at a photo shoot. Ron Carter was playing Gil Goldstein. We're all way out there. We're in one of those limo buses that brought us there. Ron's bass. Wow. Ron didn't drive his bass, Ivan. That's amazing right there. But Ron's bass, it had an area and strapped in and covers and stuff. We get all the way out there. Registry calls. My phone, it wasn't a phone then. It was the beeper. I went to the pay phone, or I used the production desk phone, and they said
quarters.
They said that Yogi had passed away, and this was the Memorial Day show or the extra day show on a Monday, and I was like worried. I was like, oh man, I got to get back. Ron Carter said, where are you going? You don't have a ride, and you can't take our ride. We talking about influences and stuff. Ron Carter was the one. He's another Yoda to say. He's the bass Buddha with that, saying something to you like that. He said, where are you going? You can't leave. The best thing you could do is, give him a sub name or something, but you're not going to make it, and we're not leaving here. You've already accepted this job. You can't leave to go to that job, So I said, I said, Brian, break, and Brian went and played that night. Wow. And next thing I knew, my suggestion was, call Ivan to play. They said, oh, Nick and Val's going to be mad at me again if we take Ivan. Because you already took Yogi. Now you're going to take Ivan. I said, they'll get over it. Call Ivan. And what did I say to Ivan when I had him in the corner one day? I said, what did I say, Ivan? Stomp that bass drum in his and you'll be fine. And the rest is history. Y'all see Ivan producing and playing and doing all that stuff with Luca, but he went out of here.
Don't cry, buddy. Don't cry, buddy.
Yeah,
don't cry.
It's like that.
So, buddy, I got to tell you this about that day. So you told him to call Brian.
Yeah.
Brian called me and had me sub his gig that night.
See? It's all in the family.
Cornell Dupree.
Right.
Richard T.
Right.
Lou
right?
I mean, I can't. It might have been Stanley Banks,
Right.
Might have been.
and so I'm like, kind of out of it, just dealing with that whole yogi thing too, man. But
Where were y'all at McKell's or at
no, it was on a boat. It was on some boat in Lower Manhattan.
oh right. That cruise. That cruise.
They had the little boat thing going.
Yeah. That's before the now exotic cruises that we
Right,
have going on up here.
right.
Yeah.
This was a
So yeah.
small thing, and it was
Yeah.
like
Good for y'all, man.
yeah. But that was weird, man. So Brian called me, you called him. It went down like,
Yeah. I had called Service. Service had called me, and I was trying to think of somebody that Service could call right away, right that second, because it was split second.
Right.
And I always send. Sorry, y'all. I always send. Come on, you got to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I thought of Brian right away, like with Nippy. He went to do Nippy. He did a few. Whitney Houston family. Sorry.
Yep.
But he went to do Whitney Houston. Same thing. I couldn't make it, but I wasn't on her gig. I mean, I played a few things. I played for Whitney when she wasn't Whitney yet. It was the first record Clive had did, and he had a whole lot of different other artists on a Pope, like a collage of different people. Yeah, there you go. And then the next record was, we knew that he had signed her, and the next record was when they did her. And look at La and all of them, LaForest and all, man.
Right.
Living on my love for you. Look at that.
That was
Right.
Look at that.
Oh man.
Look at that.
Yeah. Wonderful, man. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's great, incredible history. And the next thing I wanted to touch on was your school, Ivan, which is like that's an awesome thing that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
My hero.
And how'd you come up with the name and all, and it's just a whole, leaving New York and taking that on.
So the name, actually, a percussionist friend of mine, Don Eaton, they call him Baba Don.
Yeah, Baba Don from Harlem School. Yeah, man.
That's my dude.
He taught my son.
Yeah. So he we connected in at Dance Theater of Harlem. But before I left New York, and Damon, you knew I had the little studio in Manhattan and in the house and all of that. And he said, "Man, Hamptown, that you should call it that." I said, okay. I kind of, years went by, and things started to change and shape. And I thought about what he said, and then I thought about too, the connection to Nick and Val, Motown, and that connection to Stevie and everybody else, even, out of that camp and family. So it felt like, man, it's kind of a tribute to what got me out there, and with the family name, my sons are all musicians, and so kind of a little, that's kind of where it came from. But so I actually was teaching down here inside of another school for 8-9 years.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
But I had built this huge reputation, and along the way, North Carolina Central University hired me as a adjunct professor there.
Yes,
I
brother.
did that.
Yes.
For you, which was Grady Tate's alma mater.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bill Eaton too.
Bill Eaton. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So I got, Grady would come through. I got to see him on the campus a couple times. And then I eventually was like, look, you know what? The business that I was bringing into this other place, the woman that owned the place would say to me all the time, you got like 30-40% of everything that's going on. Everything's going to okay. And we got into a situation, and I went and found a building, man, and you know, gosh, about 50, 60 people followed me. You know.
Good for you,
Wow,
brother.
that's a
Good
good
for
number.
you. God
Yeah,
bless you.
Great number, man. Great.
Yeah, you
yeah,
know,
that's
so
God bless
it's
you.
been this beautiful thing, you know, been able to really help and mentor some kids. So, gosh, I'm into, you know, 15 something years here teaching. It's funny because some of the students that I had early on, they come back, hey, Mr. Ivan, here's my wife. This is my kids. I'm like, what? You know, you were in middle school when
There you
I
go.
first met you. You know, you cats are
Wow.
married, got families, and
wow,
Yeah.
that's
you
crazy.
know. But
Yeah.
Good though,
it's been
man. It's good.
rewarding, man. It's been rewarding, that you know, being able to help a lot of people. Um, you know, with school and you know, letters and and the ones
That's
that
so
do want
good,
to go
man.
further.
That's
It's been really, really rewarding, and then a couple of them are out there actually working musicians.
Good.
You know,
Good.
hmm
Good.
so you know they check back in, and this is a good thing. It's been like a like a calling almost.
right, right, right,
You
right. He
know.
speaks. The Lord
Yeah,
will
you know,
speak. The Lord will
once
speak.
I realized that, okay, I can actually teach people. I'm not a bad
That's good,
educator.
man.
Everybody's not
Right.
is not
Right. That you're very,
Yeah.
very right. You
everybody's
know.
not that, and
Yeah.
I,
Oh, come on, buddy.
you know,
But
Wait.
you're doing it right now. You don't even
Yeah,
yeah,
realize
yeah,
it
And
you
yet.
did.
that,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
that's as far as I go. I can't hang that. I
uh,
see. I'm gonna say this because see how meticulous he is. See, I yield to him because he know. Listen, I'm a terrible student, so I knew I was gonna be an awful teacher. I didn't have a lesson plan. I'll do the lectures. I'll talk. I'll sit and play and turn the. Every time I would do those Yamaha things. Ivan knows we have to do those Yamaha things every once in a while. I would turn the drum, have Butch set the drums up sideways so they
yep.
could see my feet and my hands do that, and then we talk later. But and lecture. Like I spanked them one time at Drummers Collective, and This is all based on a teaching thing. You say we were playing. Dun, 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 dun. I'll take you there. Dun, 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 dun. So, and then you get dun, da, 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 bass solo. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. Do you know those kids didn't know who that was? And
Yeah,
I let them have
go
it.
crazy.
I said, you guys know Jocko's thing, you know Marcus's thing, you know all this stuff, and you don't know who that is, and that's your bass instrument, and
Okay,
y'all talking about playing funk and soul and black music and all that shit. Where's your basics? BB King, the staple singers.
yeah, man.
How you not know that bass player? Get out of here. And two of them were Japanese. Fast
Yeah.
forward to about 3 or 4 years later, now these Japanese boys are old, older with suits on, and
Yep.
they buddy son. I went, oh, hey, how you doing? I didn't even recognize them, Damon. I just looked at them, shook their hands. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You don't remember? They came to Iridium. I was playing with Frida Payne and the great Frank Owens. There's another wonderful
Frank
MD.
Owens,
Wow,
yeah, man.
Frank,
That's like my daddy. I
Frank.
mean, I can't even think of him as an MD. He's more like my father. He's the one that told me, just stay right here, buddy. Just stay right here with this, and I got
Yeah,
you. Don't
man.
even look at that paper. Just look at me. Look at me.
Wow, Frank.
And he got me
Love it.
through many a gig for Tula Clark. But anyway, they came. They said, we want to apologize. All the years that we've studied in Japan and all these expensive schools, and you came one day and said to us, you made us realize, yeah, Jocko solo and all that, and this is your instrument, but you have to play. What's the name of the show? Going for the feel. You have to play the feeling.
Yeah.
And Buddy San, you made us realize another feeling because you know how Japanese talk. They have their own,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
way of
Yes.
delivering things. But you introduced to us another feeling, and thank you. I said, y'all need to go home and study Stax Records, STAX. Write it down on your music. Where's your pencil? Right, Bill? Where's your pencil? STAX.
I did something.
Rufus Thomas.
Yeah.
Come on.
I did something at the collective with Victor, right? Victor and Rodney Holmes.
Oh yeah.
It was just the three of us. I was looking for the keyboard player, but Victor was like, "Oh no, just do what you do." I was like, "Really? Okay." So all those Japanese cats came in there looking for him to play all that Jocko stuff. We got in there and we grooved so hard. They were like, Victor, no, Jocko. This is a funk clinic, you know.
That's right.
That's what he said.
That's
right.
What
he said. I never forgot that. Man. And it was like, he was grooving hard, man. Hard, man.
I want to go back. I disagree with something Buddy said. He said he can't teach. You just
Yeah. I don't believe that.
You just taught your butt off, right?
Exactly. Right here, man. Right. Caleb
James.
That's
the only way I can do it is like this.
Caleb James from Japan, another Queens cat, just said this is what's needed because the school systems have failed.
Oh yeah.
This type of information and this type of teaching is needed. I mean, I feel bad for the kids, man. You know, that's where I first started playing in the schools. You know,
in the school. Yep.
And it's so exciting. I know. I mean, for all of us right now, you know, it's exciting. I know. You know, we love talking about this stuff.
Oh my God, it's great.
And the next thing I want to go, you know, because I know it's getting late. We've been here for a minute.
Sorry, guys.
It's the a few things. I'll just give everything. Then we can touch on it as you will before we close it down. Is the lock between the bass and the drummer, right? Which is so crucial, right? The tuning. Because every drummer has a different way of tuning, you know, top and bottom, just to get the tone that they hear in their head, because it's always the one that you have in your head that you're going for. And then you know, we'll move on from there, like with the health, you know, how we're taking care of each other. You know, you're following up with your exams and all with the doctors and senior doctors and the prostate and all those different things that's so important. And then you know what you're doing with the new normal. What's the new normal? How you see things going forward? You know, for 2021, with the way things are now, and how the Broadway shut down and the shows are shut down, and how we could try to make things happen. Because this is one way. The virtual thing is definitely not going anywhere, no matter what, because it saves so many ways. But this is, you know, again. So we'll start with the bass lock and tuning and all those different things, and you two can, you know, take it whichever way that you see.
Ivan first. He's the doctor. Ivan first. Listen, I yield to the professor. He knows how to say. He articulates. I'm mumbling over here.
Please. No, I mean, you know, clearly that's major. You know, we kind of touched on it earlier with the MD thing, you know, great bass players, man, play great time, you know.
Amen.
You know, note choice is part of it, you know, their touch, but you know, when you locking and playing rhythms, I mean, just the basic structure of music, just, you know, especially songs, you know, bass and drums is the floor, you know. So if the floor is rocky, you know, the rest of it's going to be rocky, you know. So yeah, I mean, and you know, just like Buddy, man, and you too, Damon, you know, all of y'all, you know, we've been fortunate to play with some amazing bass players, the Stanley Banks and you know, Marcus and Byron's, and I mean, there's so many.
Francisco, don't forget that boy.
Frankie, I mean, there's so many, you know.
Listen, enough people can say what they want about guys like Francisco that are so melodic, and they are such writers, and they hear other things, and they're not the same old. And you're always going to get somebody, some hater or something says, oh, he plays too many notes. And then I turn around and say to them, and what instrument do you play? Okay. Now stay right on that page right there. Now I'm going to make everybody mad but y'all want to hear this. Bass and drums. Bass and drums. And I'm saying it in order. The bass, Ron Carter. The drums, Tony Williams.
Oh yeah, man.
Who kept the time? The bass.
Yeah. Ron.
Listen to da 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 da.
Oh,
da,
please,
yeah.
come on now.
da, da,
All day.
da, 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 da,
Hey,
and Tony's all in it. Okay. There's your bass and drums.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing as Larry Graham and what's the guy called Hand Feet Greg Enrico? What's that? Bass and drums. Church.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. All day.
You'd never think, yeah, come on, James Brown, Bootsy, the cats previous and the cats after, but James Brown and two drummers, not one.
That's right.
Right.
Two drummers.
Right.
All right. Bass and drums. Bass and drums. But let's go back to the first one I said. Ron Carter, Gravity, and the Mercury shooting star Sputnik of Tony Williams. Tony Williams would play ting every once in a while, but boy, did he give you some flavors you'd have never thought of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Bass and drums.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another brother that's I call him an accountant and a mathematician, is that Dennis Chambers somebody. Good Lord. Good Lord. And he looks at you and laughs while you sitting there trying to figure out where's one. He starts real simple and he puts it right in there. And him and the Baltimore, what's Gabrielle's brother?
Granger.
Yeah, the guy they play. Yeah.
Gabby Granger.
Yeah. He starts, and then the bass player goes, here he goes. And then he takes it to gear 2, gear 3. By chapter 5, you're still trying to count the second one that he went to. He then went to chapter 5 on you, and it goes back to 1, and then he does the thing with the bass drum. Bass and drums. But the bass player making you know where he started and where he left.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say this, and I let it go. I'm trying to keep it simple. Erykah Badu's thing when she did Call Tyrone, you know that's our two brothers, Poogie
and Hubert.
And Hubert is number 3.
Yep. Hubert.
He's a 4.
Yeah, Hubert the 4.
Okay, I stopped counting. I just say Hubert is. His daddy is a bad monster, and his son's a bad, and their daddy's a bad monster. You know what I mean?
Right.
All day.
And that brother played. He's a Gravity guy.
All day.
And Poogie and him. That
was crazy.
That was it.
Yeah, that was.
That whole record was it.
Yeah, we're doing a rhythm section. We're gonna do a rhythm section with them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Those guys, man.
Killing.
They flipped it.
Bass and drums. I'm just using. I mean, I could keep going now, but bass and drums. Yeah, Ferroni and that guy, I don't know the guy in the Average White Band's name, but Ferroni made all of them sound good, whoever it was. And don't forget that Steve Ferroni played on Earth, Wind and Fire Records, y'all.
Yeah.
Hello.
Best of My Love or stuff like that, Maurice. Because Maurice, you're talking about influences. I heard Maurice play and didn't know it was Maurice, and he played with Ramsey Lewis. He played with, listen, summertime, and living it, and then he finished like this. Come on, y'all. He finished with his sticks like that. You know what I'm saying, Ivan?
Yes.
He was clean. Maurice was this big, and he played all of this stuff, and then he finished like this. Bad Cat. Another one that's like that is Rayford Griffin.
They
sleep on that brother. They sleep on that brother.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, Rayford, I'm telling on you. That's a bad brother there. And bass and drums, him him and I can name the
Good
different
brother.
bases,
Yeah.
but
Sekou Bunch.
Right,
yeah.
Sekou
Oh,
Bunch. Yeah.
Sekou. Listen, I played with Tom Browne. I remember Sekou's baby, 16,
Yeah.
17. I put him in the Bible. Come on, boy, we going to this gig. And me and him, he'll tell you. Now he the MD for Isley Brothers. But Sekou, I saw Sekou and Rayford play one time. I saw Sekou though. I saw Rayford play with She's Stranger, the
Yeah, that's
Cameo.
when I saw him. I saw him play with
Lord
Cameo. Yeah,
have
it was out of
Oh
mercy.
control.
yeah.
Way
Wow.
out of
But
control.
buddy, right quick, Jonathan is watching this. Jonathan Moffat, Sugarfoot.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, and he said,
Ah,
buddy,
that guy,
he's,
All right.
he
that's
said,
a
Buddy Williams,
university.
Tell him I
Buddy
said
Williams
that.
is a hero. Miss you, brother, in my heart, my inspiration. Long time since we last spoke. And that's Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan, thank you for supporting, sir.
That
Yeah,
guy,
man.
man.
What?
Listen, that's 2-3 shows of that brother right there.
Right there,
Just
right?
on particular songs. I saw him do a thing once. I'm telling on you, boy. I saw him do a thing once. He said, "You really want to see this?" He did it slow, and it was a Michael Jackson song that he did, and it's all. He's like the swan. The
Oh yeah.
swan is going like this, but meanwhile his hands and feet are down here doing this, and he's gliding like this. And then he would hit the cymbal behind him, Ivan.
Yep.
Ivan, he had that cymbal behind him. I mean, he would do the thing and then just do like this and effortless. And he's in great shape. I hope his health is good.
Yeah, man.
Great brother. What a great spirit.
Brother.
Yeah, man.
He's contributed to our instrument so much
Good.
and not given enough credit. And thank you for the shout out, sir.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So that's the blessing of, how this is rolling now, where folks are, trusting it and definitely having, you two here, and all the shows and all the things that you've done and the great music and just the understanding of being the drum chair, what it calls for, because quick story with Ivan is that I did a gig with Elizabeth came in. I'm not even sure, it was somewhere in New Jersey, and Liz was going to just do two songs. So Liz always, Damon has to be my drummer. Damon has to be
right.
right?
Yeah.
So, so it's cool with Ray. Ray says cool, okay.
Yeah.
So, Ivan was playing. Of course, I'm always greeting our love for each other.
Oh.
But Ivan sat right next to me, right? So I'm going through this tune, and so Ivan, because there was a string section there, right? So it was so Ivan would just give me different pointers. He said, yeah, just write that down, jot that down, because Ray would always be Ray. Ray's going to, make a little difference from
What
he's going to make
right.
little changes, going to add this there. Oh, yeah, we're going to put this rhythm here. We're going to, here, we're going to do that, So, and I said, yeah, let's write it down. That's the pencil. That's another pencil situation, But, but you guys are so awesome and what you've done. And then I saw a buddy with, with Elizabeth at the, the color purple. And just, how even, this, you can almost see the record. You can see that happening, sitting out, because I'll be out in the audience, but you can just see the record going around, just all the different parts, and just, being there for it, and both of you with so many great records, and just the timing and the patience, and I wish I was able to bring that thing up, because you have it on YouTube, Ivan, where you're playing the 2 Luther tunes, and it's just you.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
And you demonstrate the side stick, and you demonstrate Stop to Love, and just, without, all you hear is the track. I mean, you hear everything. You hear Luther coming in, you hear all these other parts, but you just hear, and it's the way that Ivan's playing it, and just the drum fills and the way the drums are tuned, and on, just the sensitivity, even though it's just him, you hear the sensitivity of the song at each section, and that's what drummers don't get. A lot of drummers now, because of the difference of the monitors that we grew up with, we all went through the changes of no monitors at all,
right?
To monitors on the side, to getting your individual monitor, to now in-ears, which is like a whole nother beast, which is a little different, So just having those things, to growing up with that and understanding that is awesome. And I appreciate you guys so much for The
Hey,
great
can I say the
stories.
thing about the tuning of the drums?
Yes, sir.
I
Please.
gotta say the tuning of the drums before you let the kids go. To me, and I know what diving to, but I'm just gonna say I'll be the bad guy. Drums, different drum sets. Look at the bass player. Wait. Where's the camera? Put it to Bill. Bill brings 3 guitars to the gig. He brings a 12 string. He'll bring an acoustic guitar, and then he'll bring that Strat or that big fat with Jordan looking one. But he brings 3 different flavors. The same as with drum. Yes, I know what, but I also have to say it depends on what the situation is.
Cool.
Billy Hart's drum set and Jonathan Moffat's drum set is 2 different worlds, 2 different musics, but it's the same thing. Fantastic musicians that sketch that rhythm and that beautiful picture and that blanket for you to articulate and do what you do. So it depends on the music. Yeah, there's a jazz kit, there's a recording kit. The Color Purple set was a custom made set from Yamaha, and so I could get that down home. Remember, it had the little banjo and the twangy thing, and the bass drum I had was cool. But when that Hoggy bass drum got there, they didn't have to do nothing but put a microphone in it, and it's view of the washboard and it gave another picture, another thing. It did the funk thing, but it was that vibe, and so it depends on what the music is for the tuning. For me, anyway. If we playing a funk gig in the club somewhere, I'm bringing that little tiny hip gig thing, drum set, and stick it in the corner and try not to play too loud because those things speak well too. But they're also good. You get them brushes out and ting, 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 and go home. And it's easy to put in your car and go and not have to rent a truck.
We like that.
Now, amen. And I'm spoiled because I have Butch Watson to carry my stuff because I can't hang. Otherwise, I've been dead a long time ago trying to carry them drums. And I'm telling the truth, y'all. If it wasn't for Butch, I wouldn't be able to do none of this stuff that I do because I have to. No man is an island. I know my limitations. I am not a power lifter like Yogi. I used to see Yogi, and another one is Ralph Rowe.
Ralph.
Right.
Yeah, Ralph.
Ralph Rowe. He lifted the bass drum and the trap case, and it looks like Fred Flintstone with a lunchbox. Loaf of bread on his back, that's the bass drum, and the rest of his food is in that trap case. And he's got all the drums up in there. You know what I'm talking about, Ivan.
Oh, yeah,
he got all of them in there and throw it in there. I send them to a gig, they go, yeah, man, wow, the guy got all this stuff in one thing. And these cats can do that. I don't have chops like that. I just don't.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was a long time ago for me.
Yeah, the tuning thing, I'm only saying that it depends on the environment and if Elizabeth wants an acoustic sound, you bring an acoustic sound and thing. But if she's funking like Chaka, the acoustic set will be all right, but you want to bring them other bad boys that have that other little warmer, funkier sound and a bigger bass drum sound. I mean, if you got a sound system, then Howie Lindemann or somebody mixing, or Ollie Cotton, then you ain't got to worry about nothing. Just sit down and play, and they'll give the image of what needs to be on the thing. But if you got to do what you got to do, you got to bring a jazz kit to a jazz gig. I mean, it would be nice. How about that?
I agree.
Yeah, it would be nice. Same thing with the wood, with the guitars. It's the same thing. The same thing. Yeah. It breathes. It moves. It's in. It's out. All of that, man.
So, fellas, again, I thank you so much. We got Danny Atherton. And Danny just rang the bell last week for his chemotherapy, his last chemotherapy. So we want to give him a shout out with that. Tony Bridges is reaching out.
Yeah,
Tony
Bridges and Damon D.White, your boy.
D.White.
Yeah, my man.
Pierre Andre.
Thank you, Damon D.White, for saving my butt. Thank you, Damon D.White, for saving my butt. I'm saying it on the air. Thank you, Damon D.White, for saving my butt. I'm sorry, folks. Y'all get mad at me all you want. The truth is the truth. That
Yeah.
brother comes, he writes down, there's the pencil right there.
The
He
pencil,
writes
yeah, man.
down
Come on now.
everything I do, and he makes it happen. When I did that bet gig, that guy tried to block, and then Damon went and played, and I wasn't there. My wife's mother passed away, and Bet didn't know I wasn't there. But when the guy had his guy come in there, she let him have it the next day, and Damon just went, "Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss." Damon, get well soon, man. That leg, bro.
Yeah,
That
Yeah, man.
leg.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damon is great, man.
You know Dave's gonna be all right. That brother. And you saw him in there doing his lady's feet in the last free.
Yeah, hey, happy
So,
wife, happy life.
That's right.
Happy wife, happy life. Yeah, do your old lady's feet. If I could do my old lady's feet, I would. But I know I can't do that. I know my limitations. I'll pay for it, mani pedi or whatever. But see, that's my man. He know how to do all of that stuff, man.
Did you see him? He was making masks there for a minute.
Right? He can sew too. And we got
Great
Napoleon.
man, great
Napoleon reached out. You know, everybody knows Napoleon.
Yep.
Yes. And who else? Al Caldwell.
Wow.
Yes.
Wait. That's 11-string bass creator.
That's right.
No. Don't
Yes.
slide past that. That brother created a bass with 11 strings for real. This ain't no cartoon clowny stuff. Anthony loves that dude. I worked with that brother with I had the honor of working with him with our sister Vanessa Williams, and he's a banjo player. He plays great bass, but he's got an 11-string bass. Y'all Google that brother. Oh man,
Al is baby Al.
Yes, sir. And his daughter plays the bass well too. And Chuck Rainey loves them both as musicians, as people too, but as bass players too. But you said Al Caldwell. I can't let that go by. That's a great innovator, creator. And his instrument, he says some higher strings just so he could trigger what you say, Damon, today's music and instruments and how you can play the old school and the new school. Instead of bringing 2 drum sets or 2 basses, he can play the lower notes and cover the other things. But if he has to trigger horns and stuff with the synthesizer, those higher strings are for that. He gave me that lesson.
Wow.
I'm through.
And you got to hear some of what he's writing too, man. He's writing some stuff, man. I've been waiting for him to drop some.
He writes some great stuff. His stuff is coming out soon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Damon. I'm sorry.
It's all right. So it's good, all good stuff. And
Marcus Baylor.
Right.
Oh, what's up, Marcus?
Yeah.
Bad cat.
Somebody else that said Dave Dawson.
Right.
Who's so appreciative of things. Joey Salter.
Yeah.
Roy Bennett. Byron Moore, who was
Roy Bennett. That's a bad boy there, boy.
Yep.
Woo!
Yep.
Artie White.
Artie can sing.
Julio Herrera.
Wow.
Yeah, Julio.
Yeah, Julio. So, we have a good amount of folks supporting us always, and we appreciate this. And my wife is one.
All right.
Yeah, everybody knows
Your
her.
Majesty.
Yes.
Monica.
Yes.
She's on.
So it's all good. And the Great family. Harvey Great is because his
Whoa,
brother
wait. Don't yawn on them names. That's a dynasty of great musicians.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm putting you on blast, the Great family. Them brothers, all of them. Beautiful. They need to have their own TV show and their own university thing. If there's a Berkeley and a Data, there needs to be a great university cause them brothers, man. Howie, all of them, great musicians. That the good Lord named them the right name. Great, because they live up to every note.
Because who was it that lived there with them? Oh my gosh, the drummer Michael Walden. Lived with them. Yeah, lived with them.
Yeah, Michael Walden, right. Nevada.
Right. And he talked about, that he...
You talking about Nevada, right?
Nevada,
right.
I
didn't know
that.
Yeah. He lived with them.
That's another bad dude there, man. Great writer.
Right.
He writes great songs.
Producer,
Great.
Yeah.
And we leave it out. Omar. Forgot to speak about Omar. Stephen Wolf. Wolf.
Wolf. Omar's on here?
No, he's not watching.
Yo,
So we got it's a blessing. Like I definitely appreciate you guys doing this, and it's been recorded, so I'll make sure he gets to you and
Oh,
we'll share this
Great.
information. But
Yeah.
last but not least, you both endorsed Yamaha. How's that relationship? You guys are really happy with that?
I I've never been anywhere else. I'm sorry, Ivan. I gotta say it first. I've been with them people before it was cool to play Japanese instruments. I that trip of Herbie Man that I spoke to you gentlemen earlier,
Mm-hmm.
Yamaha. I'll tell you, I met the Yamaha people then, and then they lost touch, or we lost touch with each other. And then I went to California to play with the great Nat, the real Nat Adderley, Papa Nat
Papa
Adderley,
Nat,
and
yeah.
stop, Ivan. Anyway, I went to play with Papa Nat, and Onaje Allen Gums was in
Oh,
the band, and Fernando Gums, Freddie. Fernando
wow.
Gums was playing bass, and the great John Stubblefield.
Wow.
And
Oh,
we had a
yes.
little combo that we called the Basic Black Band, and we went out and played at Howard Rumsey's by the sea.
Mm.
We there, and Dugu came down with a Japanese gentleman by the name of Mr. Hagiwara, better known as
Woo!
Hagi, and they came in the first set, and I saw the guys, and after the first set, they came backstage, that little room in the back, and we
Mm-hmm.
shook hands, and Hagi says, "Do you remember me?" And I looked at him, I went, "Oh," and he says, "Yes, Herbie Man. Ivan, Sonny Sharrock blew up Hoggy's amp with his loud guitar thing. Bill, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to Ivan. Because Bill already knows when you say Sonny Sharrock, they needed to have a Marshall or Mesa Boogie
Hello,
or
come on
whatever.
now.
But I
Tell the
went
truth.
there with Herbie Mann, and they didn't have no big amplifier for him. They thought it was going to be a West Montgomery kind of soft set, and they had this little chump. I don't want to say chumpy guitar, but they had the little guitar amp, and by the third song, Sonny Sharrock had gone.
and
Smoke came out of it.
Ride
We're
time, baby.
playing.
I love it.
Hoggy ran next door to the club next door because we were doing a concert, but there was a little combo playing next door. He ran and got that guitar player and the bass guy's amp and put them both next together. He Jimmy rigged that, and then he went back to the office. We're still playing the concert, mind you. He went back to the office, Yamaha office, and came back with a like what we would call a twin reverb, but it was a
Yeah, I
Yamaha,
remember those.
okay.
Yeah.
super duper.
Wow.
He set that up. Now there's 3 amps up there. Herbie Man is terribly mad, and Hoggy was the man. He fixed everything that night.
Hockey
We
was the man.
Wow.
stay in
That's
Cool,
cool.
touch.
man.
Yep.
I'm gonna
I love
send you
folks like
some
that.
drums.
I love folks
I
like that.
lost contact with him. I'm sorry, fellas. Yes, I lost contact. Here you go. He comes to Concerts by the Sea within and Dougal, that big smile, that Chester Cat
Oh yeah.
smile, and Dougal just smiling. He said, "Yeah, know I had to come and get my New York lesson." I'm going, "Don't say that." And Dougal, we ain't doing nothing. You guys are playing all the stuff in the world. I know you know what I said. That I can't say we on TV. So we play. He says, "Okay, we're gonna go. Good to see you." And Hoggy gave me his card. "Okay, don't lose it." I wrote down my numbers in New York, and they said, "Okay, we leaving." All right, they leave. So Papa Ned says, "Okay, down in the second set." So there was a song that was basically a drum solo. The drums were featured, and it went da, 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 uh, and drums uh, 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 uh,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the drums are soloing all the time. And he would turn around to me and go, "Come on, play some more." And I'm like, "I don't want a solo, Dad. Come on. I'm not a soloist. Let me just sing." "No, come on. This is your feature." All right. And then when it got to the bit, da-da-da, swing, 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 da, like the blues. And they got the other one, and back to the thing, right? Uh, Okay, the set's over. Who comes in the dressing room? Big smile and Dougal and Hoggy. I'm like, oh man. Oh, Najee said, oh, you didn't see them out there? I'm not looking. I'm trying to pay attention to the leader, follow the leader. You guys, I'm not looking at no audience, and I'm nervous because he keeps making me play this drum solo thing. And to me, I'm not a soloist. Tom Browne did that to me, that throwdown song.
Oh,
They said, okay, buddy, we got this next song, and they play, and Sekou played on that, and I'm like, huh? They said, no, you just go ahead, But it came out okay, but I was not. I'm not. I always tell people, you want to hear solo, listen, get Billy Cobham, get Tony Williams, I'm not a great soloist to me. You know, we are our own worst enemy. But I play songs. I play singers. Ensemble stuff. Same thing when I had to go play with Michael Urbaniak one time when the guy in Anthony just said, Butson, just follow me. You'll be all right. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And you know who Anthony is. He'll take you to the moon and back. But you just got to hang with him, you know.
That's right. Hold on.
Great musician. All right, Damon, I'm sorry. I had
That's
to say
all right,
that,
man.
though.
But that's all. That's
all
all
right, brother.
That's all. That's the stuff that we like to hear. I love hearing it. You know, I just love hearing that stuff. So, but again, I thank you guys. You know, if you don't know now, you know. You got a lot of information. You guys have been here a long time. I don't want to keep you any longer. But again,
sorry, man. We didn't blow it up.
Yeah. You know, well, we paid extra. We paid extra for Zoom, so they don't bother.
Yeah, wait. I'm getting ready my pocket now. I'm paying extra. Come on.
Uh-oh, you going to do that.
Money in the meter.
Tap the screen thing.
Some more money in the meter.
Buddy, you're too much, man. I love you guys, man. Again, I thank
love
you.
you back, man.
Ivan, I thank you, sir.
Listen, thank you, Damon.
Thank you,
Damon, thank you, Bill. Thank you. Thank you for doing this, brothers.
Yes, fellas. Yes.
We need this for your mission. Being persistent on me to do this because, you know, I really don't do these. And, you know, I got to do that for y'all because what y'all said is what made me do it. We need to pass this on like it was passed on to us.
That's right.
And if you don't do that, why? Bob? Somebody did it for us, and we have to keep, you know, may the circle be unbroken. Infinity is like that, and you know, it comes back around. So, you know, we got to help. And these kids, like I said, yeah, they talk bad about the church drummers, but them boys are bad, and they can't help it. I'm happy for the church drummers. What did I just say to y'all? I left playing at church because there was no drums. I'm playing piano, so I wouldn't have to play because there was no drums in my church, so I could go play drums. Now the drummers, I hear the little old lady go, oh, he's too loud. He plays too much.
I know.
These drummers are going crazy in the praise and worship.
Man,
boy, it's like,
man, I can't.
It used to be it's like all these other, you know, all these other accents.
I played that back in the day. I can name some of these young drummers, man.
Yeah, it's amazing, and
those boys are killing it. I'm happy for them.
It just seems like there's so many gifted young drummers out there now, more than I remember. You know, I mean, you don't know that guy? No,
man, I'm so happy because before we didn't have nobody.
Right.
I play with at my church, Chris Grant, his son, Joshua Grant. Look him up. I think he's like 11, 12.
Yeah, that's insane.
You should hear this cat, Joshua Grant, man.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
I'll check it out when we stop because I always like to go listen to those guys and go, see? I always go, see? That's who y'all need to go solo, and I'll go, not me. Wait, Ivan, Roberta would kill us. Roberta would kill us if we played all that stuff. And she always says, well, I like to hear the new stuff. Not on your gig.
Yeah,
no. Yeah. I know I'm going to get a phone call, but anyway, it's all right. I'll take that with me.
Crazy. Well, gentlemen, again, I thank you so much. I appreciate you, Bill. You know, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, guys.
We got more things coming up, you know, because, you know, just, you know, embracing all that we do. And there's so much more information to share. So we'll definitely be in contact as the year goes on. Most of all, you guys be safe. Watch it out there. Just keep spreading the information that you guys have. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Keep doing your thing, y'all. This is a great platform.
Yeah.
I think this is wonderful. I caught the guitar thing. I'm honored to be here with one of my heroes and mentors. Mr.
My brother. We all in this
my big
together,
brother,
bro.
man.
We all in this together, bro.
I know.
You saved my butt too many times.
Listen,
we all in this together. I appreciate you
grateful.
too,
I just grateful and love it. To be able to share and it's great, man. Keep doing this, man.
Definitely, not gonna stop. Not gonna stop.
Yeah,
it's important.
Hey, Bill, 11 strings, Bill. 11 strings. Call him about it. 11 strings, Bill. 11 strings.
Trying to get that 7-string thing down, man. I'm like, what?
I know. What's our man that passed away? Jeff Lee. Jeff Lee had that, right? 7 strings.
Jeff.
Sandy Anderson, right?
No. So
Jeff
Sandy had a 9-string.
I never saw it. But Jeff Lee played a 7-string guitar, right?
Really?
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, he played a 7-string guitar.
I never noticed.
Man, I'm still trying to figure that out, bro.
Y'all told me to look at YouTube. Look at YouTube, and you see him play it with Esperanza, and he plays it with I've been waiting for you. Rochelle Farrell. That's
okay.
that 7-string. When he plays that solo, he goes,
wow.
And that's way below that E.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, man. You see him playing, you don't even notice that it's 7 strings. Cornell Dupree used to mess with Chuck Rainey. Sorry, Damon, I gotta say this. Cornell Dupree used to mess with Chuck Rainey when he'd come with a 5-string bass, and he'd say, "Hey, you got too many strings on that thing," and he'd go in his pocket and pull his knife out and try to cut the best strings, so you knew he wasn't gonna do it. But
that was
Cornell,
great.
y'all, anybody that knows Cornell, he was funny like that. He went in his pocket and pulled out his knife and was getting ready to cut one of them strings off. He said, "Get off my bass." It was a brand new bass somebody gave him, or he developed for them.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
Thank you, Damon. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
so much,
Thank you,
guys.
man.
Appreciate
Buddy,
it.
love y'all, man.
Anytime,
Love you
man.
too,
'Cause
man.
we got to do this.
Do it some more. All right. So y'all take care and God bless you.
And love to your lady. Love to your lady, please.
I definitely will. Let her know, buddy.
Great lady.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, my
Take care.
brother.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All the best, fellas. Thank you.
Yes.
All the best.
All the best.
Yeah, Bill. So we do the run out and then we gonna close it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. And we want to thank you for everything. We had incredible Buddy Williams and Ivan Hampden. Want to thank you all. So, real quick, though, that we will be moving to Sunday. We're going to have to move to Sunday. Just for some things that's going on. It'll be easier. I think we'll have a bigger audience and all. So we'll start on the 23rd, August 23rd, and we'll start with the keyboard. We'll start with keyboards with Bobby Douglas and John Adams, Mark Adams.
Mark Adams,
yes.
Chris Robb.
And Chris Robb. And so it's going to be awesome. And so I plan to have we'll have the overall schedule or everything that's going to go on for every Sunday, probably up by next week. We'll put that up together. Okay, but things are good. Again, we appreciate you. Again, the support. Any support is always awesome because we're just trying to get the production better and that we can have the videos and all the information that will make this an incredible event. Just going along with what like Ivan and Buddy was saying, that we can have the videos that just show you, so we can go through that as a mini clinic, because this virtual is not going anywhere. Right. So we'll be doing all that. Again, we appreciate you. Bill, you have anything you want to say? Something?
No, thanks so much. It's much needed. This is really an offshoot of what Damon and I were doing almost 10 or 12 years. It's actually longer than 10 or 12 years ago. We used to do Monday night at the clinics. And if you didn't know, now you know. We used to do it the Village Underground every Monday night. We were down there. So this is really an offshoot. We've been trying to figure out how we could kind of bring something like that back. It's taken a minute, but the pandemic really forced us into another way of dealing. And thank you very much.
Yeah, it's taking off. It's doing well. You know, just to get Jonathan Moffat to check us out like that, you know. And
Beautiful,
Caleb
man.
from Japan.
Yes.
Again, you know, Tony Bridges is here. He's checking us out at the time. Joey Salter, you know, from Atlanta.
Caleb's gonna be with us on the 23rd.
Yeah, as well, right. So
Yes.
it's the five of them, which is going to be awesome information. Julio, some great information, y'all. So again, you know, if you can support us with the Cash App, the money sign NYCM Collective, will be awesome. So we can try to get some more gear so we can make this much more pleasurable experience for you guys. Okay? But be safe, y'all. Be safe.
Please.
Wear your mask.
All right.
Social distancing. Be safe.
Remember, the gig is not worth your life, okay?
Right?
Remember that.
No exceptions. Be safe. Be safe. You take care, Bill.
Take care, my brother.
All right. We'll talk soon. God bless.
Love y'all. All right.
No exceptions.